What's good, YouTube? My name is Joey and welcome to the channel. I'll be posting Duel Links content as well as other games down the line, so hit the subscribe button to see more. I will also be live streaming on Twitch, so you can catch me there before the videos come out, so make sure to follow both. For the first video, I decided to start things off with a nice King of Games deck that I just made yesterday with one of the newest archetypes in the latest box. Dragunity is a Synchro based archetype consisting of Dragon and Winged Beast types that pretty much aim to OTK and Duel Links. I'll go over every match I have from Legend 3 all the way to King of Games, starting with this stall opponent, and I'm not really going to comment much on how that goes. I'll cover the deck and some of the choices at the end of the video after the King of Games rank up. I personally think this deck is the best one out of the box, as most would agree, and I was looking for a Synchro based deck to use since most of the current meta hasn't been content. So going over this first duel real quick, I saw Weevil. I knew it was going to be a bad day, well I thought it was, but he's going to open up with Jade Insect Whistle, and I'm going to get stuck with Parasite on the top of my deck. It's not the best start. Luckily, I have the only level 6 monster in my deck, in my hand. To top it off, he's running a whole bunch of burn spell cards, and on top of the monster's effect, he's going to pop my skill. So, there's not really much I can do here except tribute off his Parasite, set Treacherous, and just poke him. Now, from here, I thought the face down was going to be like Drowning, Mirror Force, or Draining Shield, something that was going to tilt me, but I got lucky here. Now, on his turn, the only thing I'm really looking out for is Lava Golem, so I'm not going to summon another monster later on. So back to his turn, I don't know what to expect at this point because I'm already looking at Boogeyman and stuff that I'm not used to seeing. Luckily, his set was just a bluff Jade Insect Whistle. I didn't have the second one in my deck, so I lucked out. He special summons Bubble Man. He's gonna get to draw 2. Can't use Treacherous yet. I don't really want to pop my monster unless I really have to, like giving Lava Golem. But he banishes Lava Golem there, so I'm already safe. But this part, I got worried a little bit with the burn because I didn't know what kind of burn cards he was running this deck. But I'll just take a chance here and swing. Easy game. I can't even explain any of the combos for the deck, so we'll get to that next couple of duels. To talk about the deck loosely in between duels, standard 3 ducks. I'm running 2 phalanx because I don't really like seeing him in the hand. He's pretty much dead without cards of consonants. 3 Atlas, 3 Militum, that's the other winged beast, and 1 of the level 6 dragons. 2 cards of consonants, 2 double cyclone, 3 of the equip spell lance. I feel like that's the most important card in the deck. And 1 treacherous. Extra deck is 1 Stardust, 2 of the UR Synchro for Dragunity, the Dragunity. I really don't know how to pronounce that name. And the other one, I'm running 2 Gay Bull, another level 6 Dragunity. He's the rare one. I have the super rare one, Gay Gear, but I never found a situation where I wanted to go into him, so I just ran 2 of Gay Bull. It's pretty clutch, you'll see in a couple duels. But for this duel, this has to be like one of the hardest matchups, if not the hardest matchup for this deck, and it's spellbooks. So not only does he open with what spellbook players open with, he has Silent Magician, so you can tell by my hand I really have nothing to go against this guy. Go to cards of consonants. He negates it here. He could have negated whatever, it didn't matter. Once I summon this, he's just gonna fade it, and from here I can't really do anything. The 2 equip spells got no monster, but the 2, whatever I top deck isn't really gonna do much to him, so this is gonna be a scoop. There's a couple of losses in here, not a lot because the video's short, but I left the losses in here to show some of the weaknesses of the deck. Against spellbooks, you might want to run a trap lineup, something with like Paleozoic Canadian to flip the spellcaster's face down or something. I only run the 1 Treacherous in my deck, so I don't really have the best deck to oppose them, so you always want to experiment and find stuff that works for you. So finally getting some combo action with the deck, I get a good hand. Cards of Consonants is going to discard Phalanx because he's not good in the hand. I get Ducks. Ducks revives any of the Dragon tuners from the graveyard. And then Phalanx's effect is he can special summon himself if he's equipped to a monster. So I'm gonna synchro summon into Gable. He's a good one to keep on defense. His effect lets him banish Winged Beast monster from the grave and help gain its attack during the damage step. Now I also have the equip spell, which lets me search another Dragon type tuner. And he's immune to traps. So Anki can technically get over Gable, but apparently this guy doesn't know how to read, so he just ends up suiciding his Anki. And then when he realizes what happened, he just scoops. Another lucky one. I don't know why people just attack without looking, but whatever, we take those. The core move of this deck is to usually get Phalanx in the grave to get revived by Ducks, or if you open Ackless with a Winged Beast, you normal summon Ackless, he gets the Winged Beast on us to the field, and then he equips himself to it. So, on to the next duel. This hand looks terrible. Like, looking at all these spells when I drew this, I was like, no possible way. But luckily I do draw a monster. I already know that face down is Onslaught. I started to second guess myself, like maybe he's just like messing around with me or something, but it does turn out to be Onslaught, so I know there's not much to worry about because I double cycle in my hand. I'm gonna activate Lance, like I said before, search a Dragon type tuner from the deck and equip it to the monster you have on the field. So I'm gonna search Ackless. Ackless's second effect is that when he's equipped to a monster, if he's destroyed, he gets to pop a card on the field. This kind of play reminds me of like Noble Knights. I enjoy Noble Knights a lot, so it works in the same aspect as like Dresden, let's say. So I'm gonna double Cyclone the equip spell instead of Ackless so that I can actually synchro summon. Onslaught can't do anything to me because I'm not in the battle phase. But I'm gonna go for our UR Synchro Vajrayana. He gets to equip a Dragon type. Actually, he can equip any Dragunity, I think, from the graveyard. And he sends it to the graveyard and doubles his attack. Since Ackless was sent to the graveyard, gets a pop a card. That's equip OTK. That play right there is probably the best play you want to go for. Ackless gets to pop a card, you get double attack. Your equip spell even boosts your attack over 4,000. So that type of play is what you want to go for. The equip spell also makes you immune to traps, so in the event he did set 3 back row and let me get the equip on Vajrayana, I still would have had the OTK, as long as it wasn't like an enemy controller or something like that. So on to the next duel. I see Zane, Balance. I don't know what it could be at this point, because right now Mass Heroes are using Balance. Might see Gladiator Beast maybe once in a blue, I'm not sure. All I know is that his connection looks a little iffy, so I got worried because I thought this was going to be a disconnect, which does happen in this video, unfortunately. So I see the emblem and I'm already terrified because this is probably the second worst matchup you can run into. I'm not going to say it's worse than Spellbooks because I beat Buster Blader on my way to Legend 2, but you just have to play very carefully. Now, I set my monster there just to, because my hand is terrible first of all, but once I saw the Buster Blader come out, I know I cannot flip him up. I cannot put any dragon face up because if he has the quick play fusion face down, he can use my own monster against me. Luckily, I do draw into a Winged Beast, so I'm just going to summon him, equip the lands. He's immune to traps, so luckily I have nothing to worry about. I'm just going to poke him right now. I think, yeah, DNA Surgery comes out. Once again, I'm immune to traps, so he's still going to stay Winged Beast. He cannot flip the fusion. Then, this guy does something interesting and Galaxy Cyclones his own set. Now, he does it to make space, so once he summons Wealth, I already know I'm about to have like the worst time ever. Searches the fusion, has Buster Blade in his hand, I already know what's coming next. There's not much really I can do at this point. My best bet after this would be to wait on Treacherous, because that's what I did in the first Buster Blader duel. Just stalled on Treacherous. I also was running enemy controllers in the first version of this build, so that could also help, but this is a pretty rare deck to run into, but he's meant to kill Dragon decks, so don't feel bad if you lose. Just like I said, you might want to change your trap lineup. Those Canadians could help again. I should be running them, but I chose to play dangerous this time. I'm gonna top deck a worse card here. Like I said, the only thing I could really be looking for is Treacherous, so that wasn't the card I needed. I try to do something slick here and put the equip on Phalanx to get my last Atlas out the deck. Now the plan here was to double Cyclone the Atlas, see if I could pop the Buster Blader and have a fighting chance, but Buster Blader negates all dragons, whether they're monsters or spell and traps, so that plan was useless and I'm forced to scoop. Like I said, I can't be too bad if like that deck is just built to kill me. Talking about the skill real quick, I run quick as the wind. It's not the best skill to use with this deck. I was only farming skills with Bastion, which you'll see in some of the reward parts, but you could run maybe beat down or I don't know, balance build you could probably make or restart. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Quick as the wind is not necessary, you can do it, but on to the next duel. I'm gonna open decent this time, get a nice little synchro summon into Gate Ball. Like I said, on defense he's pretty good because if they attack me I can just banish the Wing Beast from my graveyard and he'll gain the attack. This hero player is a little smarter than the last one. It looks like he's just gonna go for the Decider Stall since all my synchros are level 6. Luckily I do have a way around it, so I'm gonna normal summon Dux. Dux is gonna revive the Atlas in my grave. Unfortunately, I get Canada, which is the worst thing for this deck, might I add. That's pretty much the worst card you can run into, because it flips your monsters face down. You can't synchro, you can't equip monsters to them, so it pretty much shuts down the quick play. I still feel good here though, because he can't attack into my synchro because I was just banishing monsters from the graveyard. The worst he could do is go into Anki and attack me directly, but here is where I start to get worried again because of the connection issues. And this actually, my worst nightmare does come true when he disconnects. So I get an easy win, unfortunately. I would like to showcase a full 5-win streak, but not much I can do. I think we're done with all the losses in this video. Spellbooks and Buster Blader is really the only notable things. Like I said, you might want to just run a trap lineup for them. From here on out, I think it's all wins. Trick up the sleeve, you already know it's going to be Blue Eyes. I opened double Cards of Consonance and a tuner, luckily. Cards of Consonance really wasn't seeing much use for me, so if I had to make some changes, I'd probably cut it out. But I get to normal summon Atlas with Militum. Militum's effect lets me special summon one of the equips so I can synchro summon. Once again, I'm going to go into Gate Ball since I'm on turn 1 and there's nothing to pop on his field. I thought about setting something as a bluff here, but I went against it. This was a good decision, as you see in this turn. He's just going to discard White Spirit, summon Cosmic Brain, summon Lila. See, if I did set a bluff, Lila would have just popped it. He's going to get the Blue Eyes from the deck, then attack me. Once again, I don't know if people are reading now, but Gate Ball is pretty good. Now, I'm going to actually tribute Gate Ball for my level 6 Mistletoe. Mistletoe gets a Dragon Silver out the grave and equips it to me. Now, Atlas, like I said, the combo, double Cyclone him. You get to pop a card when he's popped, so I get to pop the Blue Eyes. Just swing directly, 2100. He has no board. He can top deck a Silver Scribe, but he doesn't. So I get another win there. I think I also made a mistake earlier. The level 6 UR Synchro Vajrayana, he can only equip Dragon type supers. It's the level 6 Missile Tank, he can equip any Dragunity. I don't know why you would want to equip any of the regular Dragunities, but the option is there for you. Now, I run into another Blue Eyes player, trick up the sleeve. This time he passes, doesn't do anything. I'm gonna discard draw 2. This is pretty much an OTK hand. If he did have some type of card on the field, I would just pop it with Vajrayana and Atlas. But I'm just gonna do the same combo as I did last game. Synchro Summon, Gable. Luckily I have the equip in my hand, so that pretty much secures the OTK. I did this just to be safe. I mean, the only concern right now is like Karibos or something, but once I attack, damage step happens. He doesn't have anything, so that's probably the best scenario you want to come out with. I don't know. I'm a firm believer in not leaving your board open when your OTKs are so common in this game, but he must have bricked that. So that was 3 in a row. After the Blue Eyes players, I started to feel like Blue Eyes was a fair matchup. Obviously, there's also that Blue Eyes spellbook deck running around. If I ran into that, it would probably be a little harder. The other guy, he misplayed, so I think it's an even matchup depending on how you open. I see Weevil again here. I start to dread it because I already know Burnstone is coming up. But he passes. Just like with the last duel, I don't know why people are passing with such heavy OTKs running around, but once again I open Militum and Atlas. Gonna go for the same play as before. Gable. There's a lot more plays you can do, but I guess I kind of lucked out and just kept going for the safer one. I don't have the OTK here though because I don't have the equip spell, but regardless, he has Fear Karibo, so I'm glad that he uses it now before. Well, he has to because my effect activates in the damage stuff. So back on his turn, the only thing I can really get worried about is if like, he sets 3 back row. For some reason, he didn't set them before, but the disconnection issue pops up again, so of course I get cheated out of another one from my King of Game runs. Unfortunately, we're forced to take those. If it was up to me, I wouldn't mind dueling to get a legit win, but that's how it goes. I looked at his deck for a little while here, so I cut that out. Up to the last duel now, this is pretty fun. I run into Pegasus and I see Mind Scan. Mind Scan, it's getting some use in other decks, so at this point I don't know what he's playing. I open up Ducks with the equip spell. Now, luckily this is not the same hands that I've been getting before where I just go into Gable. But I'm going to use the equip spell, get Atlas out, and set double cycle. I could have gotten to a Synchro there by searching Phalanx and then special summoning him, but I play it safe. Now, I see cards of Consonants and I'm like, wow, facing the burn. So he's going to normal summon Atlas, summon his Militum. Now, I know if I double Cyclone his Atlas, he'll get to pop one of my cards, so luckily he does put the equip down, and I can actually double Cyclone that instead. I pop my Atlas, so I get to pop his monster. Oh, that was Duck, excuse me. And he has a clear open board. Now this time I do go for Phalanx. I'm going to special summon him to the field. Now, I can Synchro summon. I have lethal no matter what happens here. I don't know, I started being an asshole here and I started playing around. So I go Synchro into Vajrayana, he gets to special summon Dragon Tuna for the green. I get Phalanx back, special summon him. Normal summon Militum. I'm gonna use Phalanx and Militum to Synchro into another Vajrayana. Get Phalanx here again. Now, you can special summon Phalanx again and go into Stardust in a different scenario, but I'm just gonna activate his effect that was attacking those. There's a lot of different things I could have done there, but I overextended in a sense. So if he did have Karibu, I would have been upset. So there you have it. Not the best king of game runs because I got hit with 2 disconnects, but I think I could have done it regardless. This deck is really strong. Um, Spellbooks, Buster Blade are probably the worst thing. I face vampires a lot on Legend 1 and 2. It's not impossible, but it's just one of those decks that you gotta be prepared for as well. Double Cyclones, I feel like, are amazing in this deck because of the combo with Atlas, but you can run Hate Nades or something like that if you feel more comfortable with that. Like I said, Canada is the worst nightmare of this deck, so Hate Nades would be a little better. Also against Spellbooks, Hate Nades work a little better. Cards of Consonance, it helps. I really like to discard Phalanx with them, but they're not necessary. They speed you up a bit, but you can find other traps to put in there or whatever you like. Lance, I think, is an important 3 of. Dux has to stay at 3. Besides that, the ratios you can play with a little bit. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for sticking around if you made it this far. Keep a lookout for future decks I'll be making for the channel.